The fixation of the subject of knowledge forms a fundamental difference between Platonic and Sophistic concepts concerning the nature of truth. When the Sophistic concept assumes that truth does not mean anything else than fiction, which can be reduced to the subjective sphere of an individual, or as Protagoras, according to the legend, expressed it, ἄνθρωπος μέτρον, meaning that man is the measure of all things. In this case, when the content of an object consists of the absolute, the question arises, how can it then be subject of human knowledge? Plato assumes that the human soul has its origin in the world of ideas and that one can refer to memories with the help of self-contemplation in order to rediscover the divine, which has been hidden ever since the soul was plunged into the world of shadows of reflected phenomena. And to re-establish the knowledge with the real being and to be able to regain true knowledge, which Plato in ancient Greece called episteme, it is required not to pay attention to the empirical diversity during subjective masterings of objects, which according to Plato serves only as material for opinion, or what Plato would say called doxa, meaning the seemingly real. So only with the help of rational philosophizing we could then rediscover the objective world of ideas, whose objectivity crumbles under the influence of sensory impressions. So in the end we get a consistent practical conclusion of Platonic philosophy, as mentioned for example in the dialogue Phaedo. And the true philosophers, and they only, are ever seeking to release the soul. The question of how one can avoid arbitrariness and identify ideas as such when analyzing Plato's objective idealism presupposes that truth is based only on a hypothesis, which due to its inviolability is devoid of the compelling relevance required for absolute normativity. And in the dialogue called Parmenides, Plato even expressed the inevitable inaccessibility of the world of ideas. And therefore, when ideas are what they are in relation to one another, their essence is determined by the relation among themselves and has nothing to do with the resemblance or whatever they are to be termed, which are in our sphere, and from which we receive this or that name when we partake of them. And the things which are within our sphere and have the same name with them are likewise only relative to one another, and not to the ideas which have the same names with them, but belong to themselves and not to them.